Hi, today I'm reviewing the Cotz Pure Botanicals and Minerals Sunscreen. And really quick, I just want to say I purchase these products with my own money, so if you want to help keep the channel independent, check out my products at nobsbeauty.com or click on the Amazon link below. So, I'm saying the brand with a Minnesota accent. Some people say aunt, we say aunt, some say tomato, I say tomato. Anyway. So, this is a pretty popular sunscreen, especially the brand. And they actually kind of rebranded things, so this is the old design. So, anyway, the new design is like blue and yellow. But anyway, it's pretty much the same formula. I double-checked that. So, anyway, it's a mineral sunscreen, SPF 45, which is good to see. Zinc of 3% and titanium dioxide of 10%. Which is not a little amount. So the nice thing is they have a tinted option. So the white cast that you'd normally get is covered up with a tint that is friendly for most skin tones. Although a lot of people with deeper skin tones, things that they say is like universal, it's never really that universal. So there's the good and the bad. So some people might love it and some people not so much. So anyway, so my first criteria is packaging, and they've done a nice job packaging this in an opaque squeeze tube, which it definitely needs a squeeze tube because it's a pretty thick product. I was actually surprised by how thick it was. So, but I do like the fact that the tube is 3 ounces, and it's almost double a lot of other sunscreens, which are usually like in a 1.7 ounce bottle. So you get a little more for your dollar for that. So that's a nice thing. The packaging is good. My second criteria is alcohol, and this does not contain any denatured or drying types of alcohol, so that's also a good thing. My third criteria is fragrance, and I'll say it has no noticeable scent, but it does contain a few fragrance ingredients, which are used primarily for fragrance, such as the Melissa officinalis, which is also known as balm mint extract, which is used mostly as a fragrance ingredient, but the main issue with that ingredient is if you have very sensitive skin, it can cause irritation or dermatitis or a bit of a reaction. So that's one thing to watch out for. And then they also have included sage extract, which can be a good antioxidant, but again, it's also an ingredient that can cause sensitivity if you have very sensitive skin. So this brand kind of markets themselves as sunscreen for those with sensitive skin or the healthier sunscreen, things like that. But a couple of those ingredients just for those with very sensitive skin could be potentially irritating. So it's important to call them out and recognize it, because I have read reviews of people that thought this was like the best sunscreen for very sensitive skin. And in my opinion, there's others that are better than this one. This one does have a few glitches in their ingredient list, especially for very sensitive skin. So not a huge fan to see that. I would have liked to see the formula without a couple of those ingredients. So on to my fourth criteria, which is the manufacturing location, and this is made in the U.S., so no issues with that. Ease of use. This is a super thick sunscreen. Super thick. So you can see I'm squeezing the tube, and it is thick enough that it takes a while to start dispensing the product. So it's thick, and it's tinted, and it definitely takes some finesse to apply, especially if you're going to be using foundation over this, or if you're using this on your face. It definitely takes some playing with to apply it so you don't look overly greasy, or you don't just look like you're wearing a ton of sunscreen, which a lot of people don't want to look like they're wearing greasy sunscreen. So it does take effort to apply and blend. And then it's just super thick. And then, in my opinion, if you're going to be using this and you're going to end up reapplying this throughout the day, you're probably going to have problems with pilling because of how thick it is. So on days when I wear this, I don't bring this as the sunscreen I'm going to reapply. I'll either bring a powder SPF or a lighter, watery SPF to reapply, because this one's just super thick, especially if you have foundation and powder on over it. Reapplying this just causes pilling. And sometimes even not even the first application, is because it's so thick, can cause pilling depending on how many layers of product you have underneath and what kind of foundation you're wearing over it. So the ease of use is not super user-friendly. Definitely more geared towards those with drier skin because it sets to a dewy, radiant finish because of a lot of the ingredients, which I'll get to in a second. So ease of use is not quite there. After you use it several times, you'll get the hang of it, but it does take a little bit of effort to apply because of how thick it is. So, and that's probably why they have a good tint in there. Tint helps to prevent some of the white cast, and it does have a lot of the titanium dioxide and zinc in there. So anyway, so on to my 6th criteria, which is antioxidants. So the very first ingredient is shea butter, which can be very good for dry skin, but also contributes to its thickness. Then it also has green tea in there, which is good. Rosemary extract, which is good. The extract of rosemary is good. Rosemary oil is not good. Then it's got jojoba esters, marula seed oil, and vitamin E. So it's got a lot of good hydrating ingredients and some good antioxidants in there to help skin as well. So they've done a nice job with that. It's nice to see good mineral sunscreen for dry skin because so many of them could be too much of a matte finish and not work very well with super dry skin. So this one would be definitely better for the Minnesota winter than the summer where it's humid and hot and sweaty. Okay, so on to my 7th criteria, which is animal testing. And it is cruelty-free per my cruelty-free blog spot. There's a few websites that kind of monitor it, so it's nice to be able to just look at those and find out right away. So, and then my 8th criteria is performance, and it's certainly, I like the SPF 45. It's a little bit above and beyond the normal standard 30. So if you're going to be out a little bit more than the average day, it's good to bump up your SPF a little bit. So that's good to see. Definitely prevents burns. Definitely helps keep skin more hydrated. So definitely a good thing. Although if you have oily skin, you might not like this sunscreen so much unless you go with a very, very matte longwear foundation over it, which can kind of mitigate some of the dewy finish. So performance is good. My 9th criteria is the price. And this is the full size, which is 3 ounces, and it retails for about $24. So that's not too expensive given the fact that the size is almost double a lot of other sunscreens. So you get more bang for your buck with that. So that's a good thing. And then in terms of the it factor, this can be hit or miss depending on the person. Application's a little tricky. I like the SPF 45. Sensitive skin can have some issues due to that balm mint extract. And then acne-prone skin, this could be a total pass for them based on the shea butter, the jojoba esters, the vitamin E, olive oil, and the marula seed oil can all be a little bit iffy for acne-prone skin. So it's good to be aware. If you have acne-prone skin and you use this and you break out, it's probably this one. So overall, this is a decent sunscreen, and I gave this a 7 out of 10, which is still pretty good. And anyway, I'm interested if you guys have a chance to try this out, or if you've tried anything else out from the Cotz Brand. Wow, what from them have you tried and how have you liked it? So definitely leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys. Stay tuned for more tomorrow, and thank you guys so much.